Concern raised over the price of food commodities during the Tabaski Eid. Health Ministry gives updates on vaccine campaign. Heaps of gutter waste left hanging along roadsides for weeks. APRC says Yankuba Toure's sentencing was personal. This and more coming on Gambia 24. Good evening, you're watching Gambia 24 News Bulletin with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Now, the purchase of food commodities such as rice, vegetable, and oil in preparation for the Eid al-Adha celebration is a strong commitment for households across the country. In consideration of the unstable prices of basic food commodities in the market, iAfrica TV engaged women vendors on the business ahead of the feast. Details of that in this report.
As the Eid al-Adha, commonly known as Tabaski, is approaching, Muslims all over the country are preparing to celebrate the feast. However, a noticeable hike in the prices of basic food commodities is a worrisome situation for the average Gambians. Fatoumata Mani, a fish vendor at the Sarakunda market, expressed her concern on the situation as in few hours to the annual religious event.
Gambia's problem is rice, oil and fish. Because as you can see, I myself am a fishmonger. But just look into my bowl. There is no fish because fish is expensive. Rice and oil are all expensive. I'm not educated, but I had people saying that some imported food commodities, there is no tax imposed on them. But today, a gallon of oil has risen from $750 to $1,800. That is hard. Even a jumbo cube is more expensive. Some are selling one cube for $5. Everything is expensive.
Bintanjai is another fish vendor who explains the challenges she faced regarding the supply of fish from the sea.
This basket of fish you are seeing is costing $3,000. A basket of bonga fish is $2,000. Before, a basket of bonga fish used to be $400 and these other fish used to be around $100 for a basket. The country is not going forward. It is really hard. We the poor are really suffering both in terms of selling and buying.
The hike in prices of basic commodities has been reported many times in this country as the public continues to raise concerns as well as calling on government's intervention. The Ministry of Trade and Regional Integration earlier this year explained the causes of increment in market prices. The issue with rice and edible oil was blamed on global phenomenon brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. For iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
The Ministry of Health, through the expanded program on immunization on Monday, updated the media on the status of the country regarding COVID-19. Vaccination campaigns as well as other efforts to suppress the virus following the resurgence in the number of new cases in the country were discussed. This is the reports.
The Gambia is making all efforts to tape down the spread of coronavirus in its third wave. Figures in terms of new confirmed cases is relatively high, prompting the government to revive the compulsory wearing of face masks in public places among other preventive measures. During the press conference by the Ministry of Health on Monday, the Director of Health Promotion and Education, Modin Jai, said the public must adhere to the regulations to prevent another lockdown or restrictions in the movement of the people.
Also recording cases, and there is a surge. There is a need to come up with regulations, and there is a need to come up with restrictions, and we don't want to go into a restriction whereby people's movement will be restricted, and we also don't want to go into complete lockdown, but as we are going, what we can do as a country is to remind people, and then also to tell people that the laws are they are still around. That also mandates the Minister of Health and also the Minister of Interior specifically to arrest people who are not putting on face masks. We know that the law is already there, the regulations are already there, and then, but we don't want to go into all those things. Before arresting someone, fining someone, all those things really are things that we should do in an emergency, in a situation like this. But before we go into that, people just need to bear and also at least accept and follow the regulation.
The country ran out of the AstraZeneca vaccine, but a plan has since been put in place to supply health facilities according to public need.
We started vaccination, as I said, on Saturday, as an emergency sort of intervention. Come the 26th, we are expecting more vaccines as from tomorrow. We are going to expect some Johnson vaccines. It's going to be received at the airport. And when we received that, we are going to embark on a nationwide campaign. A very aggressive nationwide campaign. We are going to set up almost about 120-something teams to go to every corner in this country. We are going to every market in this country. We are going to every ferry crossing in this country. We are going to every points of entry in this country.
As explained by health official, the Gambia awaits for more COVID-19 vaccines, including the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is expected this week. Communication officer at EPI, Ajakande, urged the public to receive the vaccine once it is available in the country.
But the globe is now going in for vaccination. Everybody is going in for vaccination. It's the key to all the problems. It's the solution to all the problems. If you are not vaccinated, one, you will not be a traveler, because in the near future, if you are not vaccinated, some of the countries will not accept you. Just recently, the Hajj, only those who were vaccinated are accepted. So we need to put it at the back of our mind that we need to be vaccinated as well.
The vaccine available in stock for the meantime is the Sinopharm, which has met all vaccine requirements according to health officials. From 14 to 16 July, the country has recorded an additional 310 new cases, taking the total number of confirmed cases to 6,920, with 190 deaths. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Now, the ruling Former Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, APRC's deputy spokesperson Duduja says they are not surprised by the verdict delivered by the High Court's Judge Ibrahim Jaite against the former junta member Yankuba Toure. Judge stated that the former Minister of Justice Abubakar Batambedu had threatened to teach Yankuba a lesson and throw the books at him, saying they believe the judge was not impartial. Binta Jallo files in this report.
In an interview with iAfrica TV, APRC's deputy spokesperson and director of communication, Dudu Jah, stated that the Alliance Patriotic Reorientation and Construction Party is not amazed with the outcome of the judgment of former junta member Yankuba Toure. He said when Yankuba Toure refused to testify at the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, the former Justice Minister Abubakar Tambedu threatened to teach him a lesson and threw the books at him. He said Yankuba was charged for contempt, but the case was thrown out of court. But they still went ahead to charge him for the murder of the former finance minister, Usman Koro Sise. According to him, these are instances that they saw personality coming in play, saying the fact that one of the witnesses testified that they perpetrated the act, but he was not sentenced. Duduja says he is wondering how the judge come to conclusion, considering that he said one of the witnesses cried during his testimony and those were not crocodile tears.
This part was Kanye, as number one principal witness, said they did it. Him, Kanye, Edward, Peter, Tumbul. He made and give a list of people who were part and parcel of those who killed Koro. He did not say, no, we didn't do anything, Yankuba killed him. He said, we all partake in killing Koro Sise. So, passing a judgment and said he was guilty of murder, he will be hanged, And the judge, when he was reading the verdict, he said Kanye cried when he was testifying, and those were no crocodile tears. How do you know that it was not crocodile tears? Which means you already have, a preconceived mind of what was going to happen.
Jia said the verdict that the judge was reading was not written by him. Thus, he was struggling to read, saying there was something personal between the judge and Yankuba Toure.
That verdict the judge read, was it written by him? He was struggling to read. It's either he didn't write it or he has problem when it comes to reading. Again, it questions about competency, but there's something personal between the judge himself and Yankuba Toure. And it's evident, it's been shared in social media. That's why people need to be careful what you say, what you write, and what you do. We're living in a world of technology. During the struggle, his stance from 2017, the post he was writing, what he said against the APRC, the people of Fonyi, Kanilai, etc., it has been shared. He was invited at the TRRC. What he said and the things he mentioned about the former government, the people he believed they were enablers to Jammeh, etc., it is well heard.
Duduja also described the judgment as one-sided, arguing that the judge has some scores to settle, considering he was in the system, but later flee out of the country due to reasons best known to him. He said the judge was angry, but the Green Party has trust in the country's justice system, and every death sentence has to be signed by the president, and they believe that President Barrow do not have such heart to endorse its implementation. The High Court in Banjul sentenced former AFPRC junta member Yankuba Toure to death by hanging. Yankuba Toure was found guilty for the murder of then AFPRC Transitional Finance Minister Usman Koro Sise in 1995. For iAfrica News, Binta Jallo.
That report by our Binta Jallo on APRC saying that they were not surprised with the verdict of the High Court on Yankuba Toure's death sentence. Will take us to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the news on Gambia 24. Stay tuned.
The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details, are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3- and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.
Welcome to Staples, the office superstore for all your office needs, office furnitures, office equipment, office kitchenwares, office stationery. Get all you need for your workplace. Office desks, chairs, workstation, conference table, computers, printers, monitors, sofas, filing cabinets, water dispensers, microwaves, ovens, air coolers, and lots more. Staples, the best superstore in the Gambia.
If you're passionate about using technology, creativity, and art to make your mark in the world, then a 9-month tuition-free course in film and photography at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication is something you should consider. The training is supported by the European Union funded Youth Empowerment Project. The course is open to Gambians aged 18 to 35 who have completed high school and can read and write English language. Migrant returnees, Women and people with previous experience in film and photography are encouraged to apply. Interested candidates can pick a form at Majak opposite GNPC gas station in Bakau. Forms are also available at all regional youth offices. You can also download the form on the YEP website and on all our social media handles. Completed forms must be submitted at Majak or online at majakgm@gmail.com on or before Monday, July 21st, 2021 at 4 p.m. For further inquiries, please call 222-6490, 372-5053 or visit www.majakgm.com.
Welcome back, and this is still Gambia 24 News. Now, Gambia continues to grapple with the challenges of environmental sanitation along major highways for years. This had made sub-owners, pedestrians and residents making multiple complaints on the piles of trash unattended by the city councils. The National Road Authority is also considered heedless to public calls on these issues along the Westfield-Tabokoto Highway, causing some public health concerns. Details of that in this report.
As if the devastating natural disasters ushered in during rainy season is not enough for Gambians, these neglected drainage waste and open gutters are serving as a double threat to lives of residents and users of the Westfield-Tabokoto Highway. Scores of commercial drivers, vendors and residents have expressed dissatisfaction over what they describe as a dereliction of duty on the side of the Municipal Council and National Road Authority. Among the disgruntled residents is Abdul Jallo, who explained to iAfrica TV some of the threats posed as a result of these underdeveloped drainage system.
The slabs have been open for almost 2 weeks now, and this sometimes causes accidents. People fall into the open gutters, especially at night when there is no current. It will be better if anytime they cleanse the gutter, they throw all the trash and close it as fast as possible so that their purpose won't be defeated.
Despite some efforts from the concerned authorities, many are of the view that the work is untimely and unimaginably slow. This, according to them, is defeating the purpose of their objective. It's a phenomenal situation to find drainage waste dug from gutters deposited along highways for weeks without any further treatment. The answer as to why the way till gutters are filled up with rainwaters was explained by Bakari Mane, the public relations officer of the National Road Authority.
Why we are cleansing at this time, that is the first approach, or in the starting of the rain. That's how it's supposed to be. Because we're doing it so that water can flow. If we do the cleansing in the dry season, like I said, most of the people are not using our drains into a dumping site. What will happen is we keep cleansing, and the purpose why we are cleansing is to give way to the water. So the best practice is when rains is starting, we clean so that we'll have easy flow or natural flow of rains or water inside these gutters.
Keeping the city clean is a primary mandate under the Carnegie Municipal Council. However, as Mr. Mane explains, the NRA has a role to play, especially when the council falls short in service delivery. Contracts are being awarded to local contractors by the NRA to drain the gutters of all that to facilitate the free flow of rainwater and other household waste. It is usually a long process that is dependent on the volume of waste before the service of a waste collector truck is hired due to some financial constraints.
We're telling them when they take out, the contract said everything that they took out from the drains need to be disposed away from the area, not the same day, away from the area. But remember, these people are taking it out, right? And you have a truck that will come and taking it out, and truck coming, The truck owners, you go on the side, the contractors will tell you it is very expensive on us to have a full truck standing, and we are paying for these trucks in waiting for these people to everything they take and put it there. So they have to get a volume force before they call it a truck to come and clean it. Not the truck will be there or anything that bring it also. That is harsh on them. Then when we continue like that, we'll not get any contractor.
Where the council in this case falls short in its responsibility in waste management, the efforts of NRA have been slammed by some hitches as people throw sewage directly into gutter drains. Open drains piled with unwanted particles equally block the flow of water and often result in flooding. For African News, Sohna Tunkara.
Gambian women are becoming more vibrant in the business industry as many of them are taking the lead in men-dominated areas such as design and mechanics. Many of the women entrepreneurs making waves in the country have started their experiences as to what motivates them and the challenges they encounter in running their businesses. Fatbata Kasim has the rest of that in this report.
Many a times men are seen as the dominant element of many sectors, including business. To make a headway in business, women usually work twice as hard as men to get themselves recognized. But in recent years, the trend has been changing positively in the Gambia as women participation in different sectors continue to rise. One business sector that Gambian women call their own is the fashion industry. Tida Kijere is one of the women in the fashion design industry that are making waves. She shared her experience and challenges she faced in the industry.
Small business bima ko don start halatuma ne dama wara am xaliss.
When I was starting this business, I didn't consider having a lot of cash in hand, but I had the interest in it and I decided to give it a try. I didn't wait to have a lot of money. The little I have, that's what I used to start this business. I started with only one sewing machine in my shop. Then I started looking for materials, designing and selling them. People were laughing at me, saying that they have never seen a workshop with one machine. But having faith in what I do, I never give up because I believe in myself.
As every struggle starts at the grassroots level, Arena, who sells cosmetics, explained how her journey as a businesswoman began.
Everything has to start from somewhere. You have to go step by step till you get there. If you are ashamed of starting from the grassroots, then you will never get to the top. This is a country that is very hard, and anyone born in this country should not wait to be told to work hard.
She called on her fellow women to start venturing into business to help themselves. Ellen Jones, a hairdresser, said she ventured into hairdressing because she believes that this is the area she is good at.
I didn't go to school for this. I just got into this business because I know that this is what I am good at. I was working for people, but I decided to quit to do something that I am good at and to be self-employed. I have been into this business for 11 years now.
In spite of statistics suggesting that across countries, 1/3 of entrepreneurs are female, the literature Entrepreneurship and Development contains relatively few studies concentrating on women entrepreneurs. Reporting for Africa News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Now, Vision Development Foundation gives over 300 rams to people as preparation for the Muslim feast approaches. The beneficiaries of this gesture expresses gratitude to the foundation Chief Executive Officer Modutro Dabo, while some call on the worldly to emulate Tro Dabo so that the gap between destitution and riches can be bridged. Details of that in this report by Omar Ahmed Toure.
Charity is essential and therefore meant to be done for public benefit, relief, and to provide assistance to people at times of need. The knowledge that you are helping others is hugely empowering and can make one feel happier and more fulfilled. Vision Development Foundations give Tobaski rams to over 300 people as Muslims prepare to welcome the feast tomorrow. Imam Umar Fofana, a brother to Imam Bakausu Fofana, calls on the wealthy to follow in the footsteps of Modutro Dabo. We pray that a gesture like this be emulated by many in the country. May Allah bless Modu Tuodabo because he does this yearly. He helps people during Ramadan, eat feast, and also provides boreholes for people. He is development oriented. Islam encourages helping one another, and so if you are wealthy, you have to help the poor. That is what Modu Tuodabo does, and if we have the likes of him, we will part ways with destitution. Modu Luis, a representative from the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, Tango, also expresses gratitude to Modu Turo. Every year, this is what Turo does for people, be it Ramadan or Tobaski. He gives rams to people, and we are grateful to him for all that he did for us. We have trust in him, and we are pleased with the gesture. Kombe Baji, who works at the Ministry of Works, says she has been receiving ram from Moduturo for over a decade now. I thank Allah abundantly. It is Moduturo Dabo that gives me ram every year. It is every year and not just today. It is more than 10 years now since he has started giving me rams, and he does it yearly. So may Allah reward him and give him long life and prosperity. The Vision Development Foundation is a non-governmental organization registered in the Gambia. The foundation focuses on key development areas of society, education, health, environment, and provision of social services. VDF is led by a prominent Gambian businessman and philanthropist, Moduturo Dabo, and registered with the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations in the Gambia, Tango. Reporting for iAfrica TV, I am Omar Ahmad Toure.
In that story by our Omar Ahmad Toure on the gesture by Vision Development Foundation for giving away over 300 rams to people brings us to the end of Gambia 24 News. I am your presenter Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching. Do have a good night and wishing you all a blessed Eid Mubarak.
The locations, the design, the materials used,